Okay, today I am okay. Well, today is Gaming with Infamous's podcast. So today I am going to be discussing gaming. Before I get started, I'm going to test out the audio on other or all the platforms. A little bit distracted, as you can tell, so got to excuse not being able to talk properly. Absolutely no idea what's going on there. Where that music is coming from, I could not tell you. On that. Yeah, it kind of freaked me out, man. I had to mute myself. Uh, I'll get this audio back up and do another audio sound check. I am not. This sounds good on Beam. Hit refresh on Rumble. Sounds good on Rumble. Let's see what it sounds like on X. X is still. Yep, D Live sounds good. And Twitch sounds good. And sounds good on Kick. Let me get back here to X. Got to hit refresh on it. All right. Okay, so we have everything up and running. I have 13 minutes before the hour, so I am going to take this time to put in some of my music. I would use Dragus's music, but I'm also streaming on YouTube, so I don't want to take a chance of copyright infringement for any kind of music that's um, coming through there. So um, if you guys get a chance, check Dragus Productions out. Give him a chance. Give him a look at. He's got a lot of good content on there. So with that being said, I am going to put some some meditative, good, relaxing, gamer-friendly music on with a loop too, by the way, so that it's looped in there and you guys get to hear this.
Up at the night
Okay, I am back. I'm getting ready to start the show. I checked all the audio, everything's good. So, just so everybody knows before I start, this is going to be the last episode for this year. And like the last time, I'm going to leave it open for later on if I decide to continue doing podcasts about gaming or not. So I could be coming back with a third season for Gaming with Infamous podcasts, or I could not be doing it. I'm still a little bit on the fence about it. So, um, with that being said, I do have a lot of stuff that I do want to go through and discuss concerning some of the stuff that I was reviewing before, but there is tons and tons of this. So most of what I wanted to discuss will probably most likely be discussed in the episodes that I do later on for Tech Talk, because this is some pretty cool stuff that I don't want to overlook and I do want to discuss. So, with that being said, I will go ahead and get into the episode and start talking, I guess. Okay, so this episode I do want to discuss tensor cores. Last time I finished off with talking about DLSS and I and graphics and performance and stuff like that. And this time I want to start discussing the tensor cores, which are specialized processing units within NVIDIA's GPUs. They're designed to accelerate the performance of machine learning and AI workloads. That's what the key functions of them are. They're also a key feature in NVIDIA's Volta, uh, Turing, and Ampere architectures. And I also believe Beyond as well, and Beyond. Now, it's specifically aimed at improving tasks that involve like tensor operations, and that's specifically what it's aimed for. It's supposed to improve tasks that involve it. Um, Now, the essential part of the deep learning and artificial intelligence computations has to do with these architectures. So that's kind of what it's all about. Now, tensor cores were introduced with NVIDIA's Volta architecture in 2017, and since then, it's been incorporated into their RTX series of graphics cards. That includes RTX 20, 30, and 40 series. These cores they also do play a crucial role in AI-driven applications, such as like deep learning super samples, which we had already discussed, the DLSS, and also something else that I had mentioned too that my son really likes is the ray tracing, the real-time ray tracing. That's something that tensor cores are really important for. So that is something to think about as well. So um, besides that, you also have to understand that these cores are are also used in various scientific computations and stuff of that nature too, not just in gaming and everything of that nature. So, with all that being said, I guess it's a good time to explain exactly what tensor cores are. Okay, now I can do that in simple terms. Tensor cores are hardware components that perform tensor processing. This involves multi-dimensional data arrays and and it's used extensively in deep learning algorithms, basically. Now, these cores optimize. They're optimized basically to like handle large volumes of data within complex mathematical operations, and they do it efficiently. Um, it makes them more capable of handling AI tasks than what traditional CUDA cores uh, are capable of handling. When I say that, that's the general purpose processing units that are in NVIDIA's GPUs. Now, a tensor is a mathematical object that generalizes scalars, vectors, and matrix to higher dimensions. Deep learning, for instance, relies on these high dimensional arrays to represent complex data sets like images, sounds, and text. Tensor cores are designed to accelerate matrix sounds and text. Um, uh, Actually, the best way of saying it is tensor cores are designed to accelerate matrix multiplications and convolutions, I guess you could say. Um, and This is actually fundamental operations in like neural networking and training and inference and stuff of that nature. Now, how do tensor cores work? That's another thing that I can answer to. Now, tensor cores use a specific type of matrix multiplication called mixed precision matrix multiplication. All right, this allows the combination of different levels of precision during calculation, which enhances performance without significantly compromising accuracy. Now, uh, here's how tensor cores are designed to handle these operations. First, you have the mixed precision computing, and that is where tensor cores are optimized for mixed precision calculations, typically using half precision, which is FP16, for the input, and signal precision. That would be FP32 for the output. Now, by using lower precision in the input, tensor cores can process more data in parallel, resulting in faster performance and greater throughput without a significant loss of accuracy. Now, this mixed precision approach is highly beneficial to AI, where the loss of precision doesn't impact the quality of the result. Now, after that, there's also matrix multiplication. Now, matrix multiplication is a significant part of deep learning, which involves multiplying matrices and process used uh, in operations like convolutions, that fully connected layers, and processes used in operations like back propagation, things like that. So tensor cores are specifically designed to perform matrix multiplications, all right, at high speed, making them much more efficient for training deep learning models compared to traditional GPU cores. Now, I've mentioned high throughput quite a few times, so this is something too that I need to bring up. Now, tensor cores achieve their speed by processing multiple calculations simultaneously in parallel. All right. Um, this high throughput is essentially beneficial for large data sets. which deep learning models process vast amount of data at once. Um, the more operations tensor cores can handle in parallel, the faster the AI model can be trained or used for inference. That brings us to deep learning operations. Okay, now tensor cores are used for operations in both training and inference of deep learning models. Training a model requires many interactions of matrix operations to adjust the model's weight, and inference uses trained models to make predictions on new data. Tensor cores are optimized to handle both types of workloads efficiently. Um, this makes them invaluable for AI developers and researchers too. So, just so you know. Now, after that, I want to also say what the role of tensor cores in gaming and AI is. Um, Tensor cores have basically found a wide application in several advanced gaming technologies, especially in real-time rendering and AI powered features. Um, there's some key areas where tensor cores are used, and that would be the DLSS, which is deep learning supersampling, which I've discussed in the previous episode. Um, this is one of the most popular applications in tensor cores, uh, and that DLSS is what I'm referring to. And that's where the cores are used to upscale lower resolution images in real time. That allows the game to run at higher frame rates without sacrificing image quality. The tensor cores process the AI models that reconstruct high quality frames from lower resolution ones. So that's where it's bouncing from uh, uh, lower resolution to higher resolution, and then frame rates and all that. So you've got all that going on. Then after that, you have ray tracing, and that's where tensor coils are used in real time as well. Ray tracing with ray tracing technologies, um, they accelerate the computation of light, shadows, and reflections in 3D environments. This leads to more realistic visuals in supported games. Uh, Now, while ray tracing is a demanding task, tensor cores do help offset some of the performance impacts by accelerating certain calculations involved in the ray tracing process. And it is true, ray tracing does cause a lot of. Well, I know from like a CPU, I know that when you use ray tracing, it does exert a lot of a lot of I don't even know how to say that. It exerts a lot of energy from your computer, basically. Causes a lot of stress on your computer. So that's basically what that's about. Now, after that, AI and machine learning and gaming is also something that tensor coils are used for. Tensor coils enable AI-driven gameplay mechanics in video games. Um, and for example, there's smart NPCs, non-player characters, dynamic game environments, and adaptive difficult levels, things of that nature. Games can use AI to adjust elements of the gameplay in real time, which is supposed to make the experience more immersive and challenging. After that, you have enhanced AI features. Many modern games use AI to improve procedural generation, which I already went through that procedural generation and procedural algorithms. Um, This optimizes graphic rendering to enhance the realism of animation and physics. Tensor cores accelerate these AI tasks, allowing for more complex and sophisticated algorithms to be used in real time without negatively affecting the performance. Um, so that's what that I wanted to cover when it came to the role of tensor cores in gaming and AI. Now, what I want to talk about is the architecture behind tensor cores. Now, tensor cores are integrated into the NVIDIA Volta, Turing, Ampere, and Ada Lovelace GPU architectures. Okay. Now, here I can go ahead and give you a look at the differences across these generations. Okay. Now you have the Volta, which is the V100. That's the introduction of tensor cores in Volta GPUs, and it was a really huge leap forward in AI processing. These GPUs were designed specifically for data centers, um, AI research, and machine learning and workloads, stuff like that. Volta GPUs were built to handle AI training and high performance computing tasks. Um, then after that, you had the Turing, which is the RTX 20 series. Turing brought tensor cores to consumer grade graphics cards with the RTX 20 series. This allowed gamers to experience the benefit of DLSS and ray tracing. This was the first time tensor cores were integrated into consumer GPUs, enabling a new level of graphic fidelity and performance for gaming. Now, after that, there's also Ampere, which is the RTX 30 series. The Ampere architecture improved upon the Turing tensor cores with enhanced performances and better efficiency. It also brought support for DLSS 2.0, which improved the quality of AI upscaling and reduced artifacts. The RTX 30 series GPUs are known for offering exceptional performance in both gaming and AI workloads. Now, after that, you have the Ada Lovelace, which is the RTX 40 series. The Ada Lovelace architecture introduced further refinements to tensor cores, including DLSS 3.0 with frame generation, which uses AI to generate entire frames to increase performance. These improvements provide even more speed and efficiency for both the gaming and AI tasks. So that's basically what the architecture is behind tensor cores. Those are the things that take place with it. It's really interesting when you get into this. This is probably the most interesting part of the gaming world when it comes to building your own computers and going on to cloud gaming and stuff of that nature. I'm not a big fan of cloud gaming. Don't get me wrong. I've actually I don't like the whole idea of the tier system where you have to pay for this amount or pay for that amount. And, when I play games, I enjoy buying the game and having it downloaded onto my computer. I don't really like the idea of it all being on a website, and separate from my computer. So I do have my issues about it, but the more that I did this stuff, researching it and finding this stuff out, the more or the less I dislike cloud gaming. So um, I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I still really would rather have the game on my computer. Just saying. Um, now, uh, the applications beyond gaming, okay, for beyond gaming uh, is is pretty interesting when it comes to tensor cores. Now, their tensor cores are well known for their impact on the gaming world, but they do have broader applications in other fields. Okay, um, they've also been used for AI research and development. Tensor cores are they're widely used in AI research and development, actually, including deep learning, neural networks, and natural language processing. Um, the cores help accelerate the training of large scale AI models. And it makes them an essential tool for like cutting edge research and stuff. So this stuff is actually being used in research of AI and its development. So it's something that isn't just singled out for just gaming, you know. Besides that, there's also scientific simulations where tensor cores are used to in uh, scientific simulations, and that requires like vast amounts of data processing. You know, some of them do, and it could be whether it's in the fields of like molecular modeling, climate simulations, or particle physics. You know, tensor cores uh, speed up calculations and data analysis and stuff like that. Well, besides that, besides the scientific simulations and the AI research and development, there's also like the professional workloads as well. Tensor cores are used in video editing, 3D rendering, and other creative fields where tools like denoising and upscaling and image processing are used. They also play a role in industries such as healthcare, where AI driven diagnostic tools require significant computational power. So there's that as well. Um, Now, tensor cores are a revolutionary technology. I do have to say, in modern GPUs, especially. They're specifically designed to accelerate AI and machine learning workloads. That's one thing that is interesting there. Um, it enables like fast matrix operations and leveraging mixed process precision computing. Tensor cores are essential for like tasks concerning deep learning, super sampling, the DLSS, and the ray tracing. And there's also other AI driven applications in gaming and beyond. Now, you, you also you have to understand too that as AI continues to evolve, tensor cores uh, will, will still be a critical component in advancing like game graphics and scientific research and professional applications and things of that nature. You know, so that's something that really is uh, going to be around. And it's like I said before, you know, you can pretend like this stuff is all going to go away and like it's a fad, but it's really not. It's something that's actually going to stick around. I guarantee you this. It was almost well, it was pretty much about a year and a half that me and Karma were discussing AI in the gaming industry, and it had to do with people who were doing voice actors, and they ended up having an issue over AI taking their jobs, and AI stealing their voices and using it on video games. And it went from that to this explosion about AI within the last year and a half. Okay. Um, and it's not going to stop here. It's going to continue. So no matter what, it's just a matter of people getting used to the idea that this stuff is here. It's not a trend. It's something that's just it's something that's going to be a part of the evolution when it comes to computers, computer graphics, video games, things of that nature. Now, do I trust it? No, I don't trust it. I can see it being used for good, but I can also see it being used or misused, I should say. I also see it as being a problem with people who have mental illness, and mental illness is something that does need to be discussed and talked about. I can see AI as being, well, I'm actually seeing it, where people are using AI and other things like cryptocurrency and stuff like that as a way of escaping from reality, like they do with video games. And I feel okay with talking about mental illness with gamers because it seems odd to me that gamers are more than willing to discuss their mental illness rather than a person who's just into AI or into cryptocurrency or into um, just other forms of streaming. So that is something that needs to be recognized because you can get caught up into this AI world and continue doing the delusional kind of stuff that we do to escape reality. And I see it a lot when it comes to different aspects of streaming. You can actually become addicted to sitting down in front of AI and depending on AI for companionship because you don't want to associate with other people. You know what I mean? You want to kind of have that artificial intelligence there to freaking tell you everything that you need to hear and things of that nature. So keep that in mind, because it is a real issue that's going on right now that I think is important for me to bring up, uh, considering it is the last episode for gaming of this year. So mental illness is something that a lot of my gamer friends do discuss, and it's a very important issue to discuss. So I don't think that it would be proper for me to end this year without bringing up the importance of mental illness and taking care of your mental health. And that's with that being said, I'll just keep quiet about it now. So now, with the amount of time that I've put on here, I could probably go right on into um, Mark Edworthy. I didn't know I had to ask him. I did not know I had to give you permission. Mark Edworthy's here, so I believe he's here. But anyhow, with that being said, I could probably go right on into Google DeepMind if I think I have enough time. Now, Mark, he probably. Sorry about that, Mark. I didn't realize that you had to be invited in.
Sure, yeah, I sent you a message a couple minutes ago on Matrix, and yeah, I've been waiting for about a good 5-10 minutes now.
Oh, good. That way, that's a good thing because then I could get finally through all the stuff about Tensor. Because
I was just listening to your YouTube entry, and I'm glad you mentioned about mental illness.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that really is something because um, this, I mean, AI and everything. To be honest, is something that's really intoxicating if you allow it to take control of your life. You know what I mean? Um, and I've seen a lot of people with mental illness in the gaming community that does that. They kind of like fall off from reality and stay away from their family and friends because they want to play that video game all day. You know?
Yeah, well, this is like any addiction. May that be playing video games or alcoholism or misuse.
Well, exactly.
A form of escapism.
Well, the thing is too is just like AI and cryptocurrency is another form of it that I've seen here recently,
Hmm.
where where people have gotten so caught up into that they don't even understand, like they're talking to a freaking computer. You know what I mean?
Indeed, indeed.
Like this artificial intelligence is going to answer all the questions that they have in life, and that they're going to receive divine understanding because freaking this AI program told them this is what happened or this is what's taken.
The modern equivalent of ancient Greek oracles.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Um, and it is pretty disturbing because like these people need to be able to get help from professionals or somebody, you know what I mean, another human being at least. And don't like, because like AI is going to tell you everything that you need to hear, or like
Everything it deems you need to hear.
actually I shouldn't say the word need. It's going to tell you everything you want to hear.
Yeah, well, everything it deems you need to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, take the word need out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's going to tell you
Ah,
what.
I can't say everything it wants you to hear because then we go into the entire sentence argument.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one more
Yeah,
time. It's going to tell you everything,
yeah. So wanton that
everything
can AI
you,
want.
yeah, everything you want to hear. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's so if you want a world that's built out of freaking pancakes and freaking uh well snow cones and sugar plums and all those nice sweet things, you can just talk to an AI and an AI can
Yeah,
create a
never leave your bedroom.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's kind of like what video games can become too, you know what I mean? So it could be, and I still say once they uh once they incorporate AI into robots, man, we're gonna have like the rise of the Cylons with the VR chat worlds where you can just put a freaking thing on your head and go in there and just shoot each other and start all over. I think.
Sorry, you lost me there.
Oh, you've never watched Battlestar Galactica, or
The original series, it's like the new retake.
yeah, the new retake was pretty. It was pretty. It was a lot different than the original one was. So let me put it to you that way. But but yeah, that's kind of a good thing to go off of because of what they were saying on there. Caprica was the offshoot of their show, and it was basically about Caprica and how the Cylons came around to being, and what it was is what they developed artificial intelligence and they incorporated it into the robots. But before they did that, there was a virtual world that was also created where where you could take your consciousness and transfer it into this virtual world. Okay, and
Okay.
it would be a simulation of you, and it would duplicate everything within your mind, and you would have like an avatar, like on Tron.
much like a lot of science fiction. I'm thinking things like William Gibson and the Matrix films, Bex films, and the recent Cyberpunk 2077 game
Mm-hmm.
concepts.
Yep.
William Gibson, really. Yeah, all comes from the William Gibson ideas.
So, I mean, it's pretty interesting when you look at that stuff. I mean, I could see that happening where the gaming world eventually, within I'd say even the last 20 years, it would change. You know, with the whole with the growth of all of this. Because I mean, I have to I have to tell you, I mean, I do disagree with you about the whole idea of this being a trend. I don't think this is going to stop.
I argue that you brought up Nvidia just now. I argue that certain concepts are fads. Um, Again, when you say artificial intelligence, you're talking about such a broad church here.
Yeah.
And also certain technologies, certain companies will come and go. Companies come and go. Technologies come and go. That's just
Well, I'll tell you one thing though. This DLSS and Tensor cores, they're going to be around for a while.
um,
This isn't something that's going to vanish.
again, yeah, they may be around for a while, but how much are they going to be used? I mean,
Well,
when
Tensor
you're talking
cores,
about when you're talking about GPU control produced artificial intelligence, whatever that may mean, I'm looking at more things like NPUs, actual artificial processing units that are built specifically for this single task.
now you need to understand that they go hand in hand. Okay, like tensor cores are basically used for stuff like denoising and upscaling and image
Yeah,
processing and stuff of that nature, and it does it in real time. Okay,
yeah.
it's not something that takes time and it takes 2 or 3 seconds. This is
But
happening.
but
Real,
you as I mentioned, the term artificial intelligence is such a broad concept. You are just pinpointing one element.
well, what about ray tracing? You know
Well,
that's a
yeah, well, or an element, a specific purpose, a
Mhm.
graphical display.
Now ray tracing is probably the hardest thing for any of the computers out today to do. It's a really hard process, and it takes a lot of stress, or puts a lot of
Oh,
stress on a computer system. You
always
know,
has been. Even going back to my days on the BCB,
right?
it was, yeah.
And these tensor cores, man, are really like stepping up the whole process. It's taking a lot of stress off of them, and I think that's probably one of the biggest areas where you're going to see these tensor cores sticking around for a while.
The enterprise argument would be is why would a company spend so much more money on actual GPUs when they can actually buy APUs or NPUs at a fraction of the cost? After
Well,
all, NVIDIA is known for NVIDIA and AMD because they've been the two major players in the market. Have got a bit of a monopoly over the market,
yeah,
therefore they can demand their own prices.
right. And I mean, just don't get me wrong either. Like freaking, I'm not a big fan of Nvidia, and especially with the stuff that I've had to deal with them with in the past. Like Alan wanted me to switch from OBS to freaking XSplit, and It's like I told you in our previous conversation. There's no way in hell I would go from freaking OBS to XSplit. XSplit is like one of the worst freaking encoders to use when it comes to live streaming. You know.
I'm not familiar with that personally.
Well, XSplit is a it's an encoder that was created with NVIDIA. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's not really all that great. Everybody made it out back in the early 2000s how great it was. YouTube was even telling people or promoting it when they in their streaming areas. Like now we have YouTube Studios, but before it was a little bit more clunkier, and they would always suggest in there that you use XSplit. You know, so
because they want to market the one products.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I
they've got skin in the game, so to speak.
right. Well, they did at one time. I don't know if they're still doing it, but it is interesting because I'm going to pause this for our episodes of Tech Talk on going further, because in Tech Talk I want to talk about Google DeepMind. And
Okay.
that's where a lot of this stuff goes. And then I also pulled up some more information on AlphaGo. Have you ever heard of that? And AlphaZero.
Go as in the programming language. Go.
AlphaFold.
Rings a bell, but not really done very much research.
But that's kind of what I want to do. And then I also want to start talking about AI in healthcare, because that's something that's been popping up in a lot of this technology that I've been going through. It keeps discussing the medical field and stuff, or in healthcare.
Then we can talk about privacy issues on
Exactly.
monopolies and stuff. Yeah.
And there's just so much stuff. Like, have you ever heard of reinforcement learning?
Sounds like something I would have been speaking about whilst I was working in education 30 odd years ago. If not more.
It's a type of machine learning where, like, an agent learns to make decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then it also makes decisions by interacting with an environment, and it's actually receiving like feedback. Okay. And like what's the best way of saying it? In like form of like rewards and penalties. Like
Okay.
It's called reinforcement learning, dude. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we've been talking about deep learning and DeepMind and all that good stuff, but it's the first time I've actually heard about this reinforcement learning, which is
and then we can go into things like gaming of societal norms, and then look at things like the potential upcoming CBCDs and things like the Chinese Sesame system.
right. It'd be kind of cool. Now they also have DeepMind came out with MuZero. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
Now that is where this reinforcement learning is. It takes like a step further, and it like I just told you a little bit about the the reinforcement learning, but then you have the MuZero, which goes a little bit further. In that the way they do that is it learns to plan and make decisions after the whole learning about the rewards and penalties. You know what I mean? So
reminds me of the sort of potential, of the sort of rumors that were coming out of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
The nudge units and so forth.
And I was doing my stream the other day on strange stories, or it's actually strange stories is what I was doing, and I did uh, I did one on artificial insemination,
Okay.
and I don't know if you remember or realize this, but artificial insemination was actually the first term that was used for the initials AI before artificial intelligence. People always used AI for artificial insemination,
Okay.
and
Yeah, no irony there. Yeah.
I find it really odd that those two freaking terms are both connected to AI. You know what I mean? Because look at it. Isn't that kind of weird?
Not really.
You know,
People are used to having terminology that is simplified and dumbed down for these individuals to at least have at least some grasp of what it means.
but look at it. Look at artificial insemination and what's involved there. And then you
Yeah,
look at
yeah. I get the. That's why I thought it was quite ironic. But yeah, I get the sort of underlining drift.
it's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? And the reason why I brought that up too was because it really did stick out. We've been having to have a lot of conversations when it comes to freaking AI and stuff. So I thought that was kind of odd that I ran into that the other day, and I know it has nothing to do with gaming, but I just figured it would be cool because everybody knows how I am. I come up with weird shit no matter what video stream I freaking
I don't
um,
know. Very weird. There's a logical connection.
well, I mean, it does seem odd. It might
Okay,
be
it might seem odd to other people, but as far as we're concerned, considering how unusual we can be, our thought processes can be, I wouldn't call it weird.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I found out like they could take one sperm, okay, and they can split that one sperm up so that they can actually make multiple women pregnant off of one sperm.
Okay. Okay. I've not seen the research on this one.
Okay, no, I mean I just gone through it because I was doing a
Yeah. Yeah.
well, the topic was about that Russian dude who tried to make a ape army. He wanted to inseminate a woman with freaking the sperm of an orangutan in Russia,
Okay.
and that led me into artificial intelligence, or not artificial
Okay.
insemination, and next thing you know, I'm reading that stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, like freaking, this is just as freaking crazy as what AI is, and they're both called AI. Like there's artificial insemination, and there's artificial intelligence. So maybe,
Not to
like
get confused, not to get mixed up.
maybe these like people who are addicted to artificial intelligence are being artificially inseminated with with fake artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Do you think that could be what's going on there? I mean, because
I was just thinking of the idea of of the Western world fertility rates being low, um, going down
oh
dramatically.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, actually,
yeah.
that just opens up like a whole plethora of
Mm.
crazy shit. Like now, like the birth rates worldwide is going down because freaking like gamers,
Not
computer
so
nerds
sure about
are.
worldwide. Not sure, so sure about worldwide. Within more westernized cultures. That's true, but
Now
there's an
you're
argument.
I'm just trying to bring up a cool thing here, man. Okay, I'm saying like this. It don't matter if it's worldwide or anything. I'm just saying that freaking you know birth rates are going down because freaking computer nerds and freaking gamers are freaking too obsessed with artificial intelligence. And the reason for that is because artificial intelligence is freaking artificially inseminating them.
I'm not going to attribute it to gamers per se. You know, you can make a large argument about third wave feminism, the so-called glass ceiling theory, um, and general sort of working practices since World War II
Okay, so
and
I think
society even.
I think we need to like get away from that topic because this is
Okay, fair
gaming.
enough. Yeah,
And
yeah.
what I am going to do is I'm going to make the rest of these talking points. I'm going to make these a part of my talking points on Tech Talk, and
Okay.
we can actually get that going on or in a conversation with that on there because like I don't really want to let all of this stuff go on here because this is some really good information.
Yeah, a lot of it's not overly relevant to this gaming subject per se.
Oh yeah,
There's a wider.
being honest,
Uh,
this actually does fit in pretty good. Like for people who are like really into games and know what the hell they're doing when it comes to it, it does have to do like this ray tracing thing. And
okay, yeah, this specifically, but the wider sort of points that we were just making.
tensor and not just that, but like there's games that actually need this technology in order for you to play it. If you try to get on like a regular computer that's not set up with being able to handle this stuff, you'll literally kill your computer.
I'm not sure about Kale. Give me an example of such a game. Give me a
Uh,
title.
let me think. It's a freaking what's the one? Now I've got a freaking no. It's the freaking one game that's out right now. Oh God.
Remember, I may not recognize the titles because I don't follow this field as closely as you do.
Okay. Now, one game that's really big on it is Fortnite. That's the game I was
Okay.
thinking. Now, I believe Counter Strike also has it to where like when you go in and you freaking when you do shoot fights and stuff, it can literally replay all of it and stuff like that, where it can replay the entire fight scene exactly the way freaking it was played out in real time. So not only are you playing, but the game is literally keeping track of how everything you do and the thing.
But is this related to those cores, that technology?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're talking about.
I argue that we've seen this sort of viewing of replicating of gameplay been around for many years.
Well, not to this extent, not to the extent that this is live stream. Actually, uh, multi people. You know what I'm saying? Where you get on the internet and you freaking play different freaking people who are real players. They're not NPCs. You know what I'm saying?
I've
Like,
got a game on. I've got a section. I've got the. I can't remember who created that now, but you remember the Warhammer 440k Dawn of War series?
Dawn of War. What was it
Yeah.
again?
Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. I can't remember who
Oh,
created it. But that was, I think, was produced in 2009. And in skirmish battles, skirmish games, you can actually record the entire play and replay it at a later point.
well, you need to understand what I'm saying though. Like it's actually okay. Like on single games, like you had freaking what was the name of that old dirt bike game where you could freaking go around the dirt track on your motorcycle? You could do replays like that, okay, and that has been around. But I'm saying like when you're talking about multiplayer games where freaking you have like shooter games and Joe
Yeah,
Blow is
this is why I say Dawn of War, because they and talked about the skirmish, because that is multiplayer,
no, I mean
or can be multiplayer.
you're not understanding though. They are keeping track of what
Yeah, exactly,
every person
exactly.
does in the
Yeah,
game, and then they're playing it back to you in real time. Okay,
yeah, same thing.
you see now.
From a game that is what now, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years,
Well, actually,
16.
that would actually be like in the time period that all this is going on because like
Okay.
they've like
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla was one of the games. Then you had Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is actually one that does it, and I know Metro Exodus does it. And I think Red Dead Redemption 2 does it. I'm not quite sure.
Actually, I was incorrect. It was released in 2004 by THQ. Yeah,
Which one
so
was it?
it's even longer than this was now. That's 22 years.
Now, see, the one game that freaking I wanted to get a game for was Far Cry. But the Far Cry 6, I believe, is supposed to have stuff like that going on. But I'm wanting to do. I believe Far Cry, the one that I want to do, is before Far Cry 6. I'm not quite sure. Uh, Far Cry
Hmm.
Far Cry Primal is the game that I want. And that one's the one where freaking it's like back during the time of caveman. And you have to build like your spear and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm wanting to play. But I believe other than that one, I believe it's Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4. Those are the ones that I want. Yep, Far Cry 4 is the one that I want to actually get a game of. But Far Cry 6 is supposed to have freaking the Tenture stuff available inside of it too. You know, and I've never played that one. The
Okay.
last time I kept track of it, it had the where you were here in the United States and you were a bunch of redneck. You had to kill a bunch of redneck hillbillies and shit. Which I guess in today's
Okay.
world, I guess in today's world that would be kind of cool. But like I like the Far Cry 4 because it was like uh, kind of like in Tibet. You know how Tibet's set up with their traditions and everything,
It was,
and they had caves with temples and shit inside of it. It was kind
okay.
of
I see. Yeah.
it's kind of set up like that, and then you have to like go up into a mountainside like the Himalayas, shit like that. So I like that. That's what I was interested in. But it they went from there to Far Cry Primeval or Primal or whatever that is,
Okay.
and I did like the idea of that one, but it just I didn't really get into it. But yeah, and then if I'm not mistaken, too, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider is also one that has uh, features for the tensor cores too. There's quite a bit of them out there, um, and I wouldn't say that any of them freaking does the whole replay thing like I was talking about, but I know that they do have them. The replay that I was talking about, I'm pretty sure that comes off of Counter Strike. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's
Again,
where.
I'm not an overly big first-person shooter player. Never have been, so.
Well, I mean, I'm just starting to get into it too. I never really did get into all that stuff because, well, I told you about like Battlefield. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, you go on there and you die 5 seconds after you get on the game because of how many people are fighting, and that's all it is. It's a combination of 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there, and then hopefully you can stay alive for like 20 seconds. You know,
Is there any point in playing such a game? I wonder.
it's all it's all about the stats, man. And the longer you stay alive and the more points you rack up, the stronger your guy gets, so that you can run around killing all those newbies with a butcher knife.
Okay.
You see? Isn't that cool?
Sounds good. Yeah, really cool. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. Honest. Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, this is going to be my last gaming video for, or yeah, episode for the year. I was able to finally get 12 freaking videos. And this is probably the most messed up video series I've had to do, to be honest. But I was able to get it done, and I did want to apologize again to you and everybody who was involved. Like Dave Kelso came on and we messed up the entire, or I messed up the entire audio to that episode. And
I'm glad I could be a part of this messed up.
but there are some episodes in here that are just completely not worth watching, but that's okay. Because next year I'll come back strong, maybe if I decide to. It was like last year when I did it with Karma. I mean, I was like, by the time I got done with this shit, I was like, I don't know for sure if I'm gonna do this anymore, you know. But I came back and I did it, and I also want to point out something too, like in these playlists, okay, in both seasons, like the amount of stuff that I've covered is freaking pretty amazing because it starts out with retro games. I go through and I discuss freaking emulators and which ones that I used and how good they are. Then I also went through and discussed artificial intelligence just briefly, and that was with the voice actors and stuff, and the SAG when they went to they went to arbitrary bullshit with the video games and artificial intelligence. I also covered NFT gaming, which I don't think anybody has ever freaking covered. I think I'm probably the only one who's ever went over NFT games with me and Karma. And then,
I've seen things, but yeah.
No, I mean like in a podcast.
But here, carry on.
In a podcast,
yeah,
you know. And I mean, I'm not talking about like the crappy games. I'm talking about like the cool games they got out. They got some really cool ones out if you're looking for them.
okay.
But we did that. That was all within the first season, and this season, man, we went from retro all the way up into the like cloud gaming and talking about AI and all of these different games. And I think we did a pretty good job of it, to be honest. I even went through and I I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of go back over some of this stuff to where I can do follow ups on it. So
Mm.
I think I did pretty good by making it to the tensors, but I really don't want to go any further. I am so sick of this. I am so sick of this freaking tensor or this freaking gaming stream for the year. So
Uh,
I'm sick of it. I have my stomach has turned over some of the dumb shit I've done with this stream. To be honest with you,
okay.
I literally recorded us for what, an hour and a half without your guys' voice on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What was it 3, 4 episodes ago?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So maybe freaking it'll be better next year if I decide to come back and do it. But I don't know. I'm not making any more promises. So before we go, let everybody know who you are, Mark, and how they can find you.
Okay. There isn't going to be any issues finding me. I can be found at minds.com/Medworthy.
Okay.
Nice and simple, no issues there.
Okay. And I'm Roger Hanson, Oso Gaming, or Infamous OG 1973. I am gaming with Infamous on YouTube as well as on Rumble. On X, I just go by Raj LOL 1973. My verified name is Roger Hanson, but you can find me at Raj LOL 1973 if you want to tag me. On D Live, I am Roger_Hanson, and on Twitch, I am Infamous 1969, and on Kick, I am Roger_Hanson. So, with that being said,
For my simple, sorry, I was going to say for my one simple address to your multiple, many different names.
it took years and years of insanity to do what I've done, dude. I mean, that's why I'm so sick of streaming. You know what I mean? Everybody who just gets into this shit's all happy and wanting to freaking make money off of YouTube and shit like that, and they're all ambitious. And I've made $5 in 1 year. You know, all happy because they made $5. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I've been doing this shit.
$5 in 1 year. That's going to feed your mother, your wife, your mother-in-law, and your 5 kids.
I'll go down and buy a candy bar. I think you can still get a candy bar for under $5. I'm not sure though.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but go get you a candy bar and waste your profit. You know what I mean? So, but my whole thing is I don't even do that no more. I get on here and I do it because I'm so used to doing it, and I enjoy meeting people and stuff. But I really don't enjoy meeting people anymore. I hate to say it, but like fucking bitches be crazy up in here. I'm sorry.
Welcome comment.
Did I say that out loud? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have ever watched any of my videos, you know that's not freaking out of it's not freaking out of character when it comes to hanging with Infamous. So I will get off here and I will leave you guys alone, and I hope you enjoyed.